Hi everyone! Guess what I have? A super sparkly bracelet to show you how to make. It's really easy but very, very elegant. I called this Swarovski Passion because they are all Swarovskis. I'm using bigger ones and littler ones. But you know what? You can use basically whatever size just as long as you change them up in here. Whoops. So if you have an 8, you need a 6. If you have a 4, you should use a 3. And you're going to have to adjust your beads accordingly in here. I didn't make it with rounds or anything like that, but you're welcome to try to see how it works out for you. Now, on the closure, I really don't like this. Like, this is really pathetic, eh? Look it. Who wants to make a bracelet like that? Nobody. So, we're going to adjust this in here. I'm going to change this ending part here, but I still want to make it the same length. This part from crystal to crystals here is 5.5 inches. So you're going to have to do your toggle area. So if you want a 6-inch bracelet, you might want to leave out one section and just add your closure in here, really shorten it up. It's not hard to figure it out. This fits very snug. It's 8-inch. I mean, the closure is okay, but I don't want to look at it like that. Okay, so I'm going to change that up. Now, you're going to need, for this 5.5-inch area here, from here to here, you're going to need 12 8mm Swarovski crystals. The smaller ones I'm using are, these are 6mm, and you're going to need 26 of these. If you make a size 8. If you make smaller, of course you're going to use less beads, right? If you make it bigger, you're going to need more beads. Not hard, not rocket science, right? Okay, and I'm using an 8/0 seed bead, but these are those new Matubo beads, or Matubo. And this color is called Crystal Lila Vega Luster. It's really pretty purple color. I'm also using 11/0 seed bead, and this is eggplant galvanized gel coat eggplant. You're going to need a toggle, and you're going to need 2 wire protectors. I'm going to use the same toggle I used in this one because I really like this toggle. I'm using 6-pound Fireline and a size 10 beading needle and a pair of scissors. Oh, and I don't want to forget this, but and my coffee. It's getting cold, so it's getting good. Alright, I'm going to go dump all this and I'll be right back. Now, as for Fireline, how much Fireline are you going to need? Well, that's going to depend on how big of a bracelet you want to make. Honestly, I'm going to be so honest with all of you. I don't measure my Fireline. I don't have time to sit here and measure every single piece of Fireline I use. So, I'm just a safe kind of person, and I just yank off as much as I'm uncomfortable holding, and then I'm just going to cut it. Usually it's a good 2 arm spans is what I usually cut off at first. Okay, and then I'm comfortable with that. You will have to add thread. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Because when we do our right angle weave, which this bracelet consists of right angle weave, you go through your beads twice just to reinforce it. Okay, so that's all I did, is added a chunk that I'm comfortable with. I don't know how long this is, and who's going to sit here and measure all this? I don't have anyone here working with me to help me do this. If you know of anyone that wants to come and I'll pay them a tube of beads if they want to come and measure all my length of Fireline that I use. Okay? I ain't doing it. I don't know how much I'm using. I'm guessing. But, I mean, if you're going to start a project and you only have like a couple of wraps around a spool of Fireline, you definitely know you're not going to have enough. Doesn't take a, you know, rocket scientist to tell you that either. So funny. Okay. It's just lots of people ask me how much Fireline I use. I don't know. I'm lying to you when I said 2 yards. Because I really don't know. It just seems like I use 2 yards. But I could use 3 and I could have used 1 and wasted a half a yard. I don't know. I waste a lot of thread too. So you really don't want to go by what I'm telling you. Because if you're one of these ones that don't like wasting Fireline and thread, use your own judgment. If you like adding on thread, hey, then just cut little tiny pieces like this if you want. You know, piece this big, and you can make your bracelet. Anyways, now that we got all the Fireline all straightened out and it's perfect, let's begin. So what I did is I worked from this end to this end before I even added on my closure. So we're not going to add on a closure yet, okay? So we're going to be making right angle weave units. We're not going to count these two because these are our last pieces that we used to make our toggles. So let's do first. So whatever you want to pick up first. Boy, all these lights are driving me to drink. Weird. Okay. Hopefully my lighting is good, guys. If it's not, let me know. I'm trying so hard to, like I can see a shadow on here and it's driving me crazy. So I'll be right back again. Okay, I don't know what to do to fix it, but I've got 4 lights going to go here and they're all daylights. And I don't understand why it still seems dark. Anyway, let's get started. Okay, first things first, pick up. Now, like I said, you can use an 8/0. It's just that these Matubo beads are very, very beautiful and very uniform in size-wise. See how these are all perfect? If you use a check 8/0, they're not all perfect in size. So you might want to invest, if you want to do a really good job and a neat job, you might want to order some Matubo beads. So pick up a 1/8/0. One of your 8mm crystals, another 8/0, a 6mm crystal, an 8/0, another 8mm crystal, an 8/0, and another crystal, 6mm. So this is what you have on your needle, okay? Wow, shadows. I don't know what to do, guys. I'm trying to get this stupid light to be good, but anyway. So you've got an 8/0, an 8mm, an 8/0, a 6mm, an 8/0, 8mm, an 8/0, and a 6mm. And let's just bring those down, leaving a tail. I'm going to leave about a 14-inch tail because I'm going to use this end here to put my other piece of my toggle on. So, alright, so now we're just going to go right through all of these beads again, okay? So let me bring up the camera a wee bit so you guys can see what I'm doing. Not too much. Alright, so I'm just going to go through all these beads. The 8mm that I'm using is just an amethyst color. I love my purple. I think you all know that by now. Okay, and we're going to pull that into a circle. And then of course we're going to go through all these beads again. Oh my god, it's so dark. I wonder if it makes any difference with this light gone. This light doesn't even help. Okay, I'll be back. I'm getting frustrated. Okay, how's that? Alright. Now, what I was saying is we need to go through all these beads again. So I'm just getting my tail out of the way. So you're going to go through every bead in your ring. Like this. Oopsies. I'm already tangling up with my tail. And making a 1/2 inch knot here. There we go. Now we're going to build from this point, these ones here, because we're doing a unit like this. So you want to build from your crystals. So we're just going to go through a few beads here. So we're going to get, I'm actually on the other side of my tail, so it doesn't really matter. That just means I went through it a lot. Alright, so this is how you should be exiting. Actually, the tail end is good. Out of just the 8mm crystal. So don't be exiting out of your 8/0 or 6mm. Make sure you're exiting out of your 8mm. And now you're going to pick up an 8/0, a 6mm, an 8/0, an 8mm, an 8/0, a 6mm, and an 8/0. Okay, we don't need 2 of these because this one's working as one for us, right? Okay, so now let those fall. You're just going to make a circle because we're doing right angle weave, and you're just going to come back through your 8mm like that. And this base is good and strong because I went through it 3 times. And pull that into place like that. Okay, like this. So now we've got 2 units done of our right angle weave, but we need to reinforce this again. It just makes the base a lot stronger. As you can see, your thread just loosens right up. And you don't want that. Now when you're working with crystals, back through where we started and give it a good tight pull. Now you need to exit out of this one again, so I'm just going to work my way back up to that 8mm. And if you want, you are going to use more thread if you do it this way, but you can go through these again, and I'm showing you, if you do it, how nice and sturdy your base row will be. See? So it's good and strong, and it's nice and tight in there, and lots of times Fireline gets cut by your crystals if they're sharp. Alright, so there's that. There's your units. You got 2 units done. So let's go through doing another unit. So we're going to pick up 8/0, oops, a 6mm, an 8/0, an 8mm, 8/0, 6mm, and an 8/0, like that. Okay. Now you're going to make your circle. I'm coming out of, oopsies, I didn't go through the 8/0. See, that's what we got to be careful of. I didn't exit. I'm exiting out of the 8mm. I need to be in, or the 8/0. I need to be in the 8mm, like that. Okay, repicking up, repicking up. Now, we can make a circle. And that's just by going through the 8 like that, or 8mm like that. And pull. So, as you can see, I had a big, huge, long piece of Fireline. It's gotten short real quick. Alright, so let's go through all these. And this is all you're going to do for this very basic right angle weave base row. Pull it tight. And I don't like how loose it is still after going and reinforcing it, so I go through it a third time. You don't have to if you don't want to waste thread, but I like the firmness of, or if you use 8-pound Fireline, you can use 8-pound Fireline if you've got it, or 10-pound, and then you've only got to go through it once. Alright, but I just like how if you go through it, you can judge by yourself. You can see if your beads are floppy, doing the floppy chicken. Then you know you should go through them again. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, so I'm going to go off camera and I'm just going to keep doing this until I have all 12 of my huge crystals. This amethyst is huge crystals. These are beautiful. I don't have a lot of 8mm Swarovskis, but I ran, and if you notice in here, you probably can't see it in the camera, but I ran out of this turquoise that I was using on the side here, and I had to use blue here. I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but that looks really dumb. But I'm not keeping this bracelet. I am going to take this bracelet apart because I made too many errors on it. And this one's going to be perfect, just like the rest of my world. Okay, going to finish and be right back. Okay, so I'm at the end of my bracelet, but as you can see, my thread is super short. So instead of me saying, oh, I have a video on how to tie off and tie on thread, I'm going to show you how to do it. It's that easy. So let's get another chunk of Fireline. And if you're using 8 or 10-pound Fireline, you don't have to go through this 3 times. I don't even know why I didn't pull out the 8. I'm half asleep. I'm on vacation this week. Thank God, me and my husband. We've done so much work to this house. My son's house is gorgeous now. He's putting in a pool. He just got a hot tub, so we've been in the hot tub a lot. And I'm telling you guys, it's so relaxing to be in a hot tub. Anyway, I had one last night with my sister. So it is like 7 o'clock in the morning here, and I'm up because I get up for work every morning at 4:15. So I am having a hard time sleeping in. So I thought, well, I'll go do my tutorial. That's what I should do before I do anything else. There's a painter coming today to paint the kitchen. So anyway, so I've got another piece here, and I still have a thread here. This is the easiest way to tie on and tie off. Or tie on, tie off. What? We're tying on, not off. Geez, hang on. I need another swig of this juicy stuff. Okay, let's just tie an overhand knot over top of this piece that's left of our Fireline from... Okay, now, I'm trying to tie a half hitch knot, or overhand knot. A half hitch knot, eh? Okay, so all you're going to do is that. And try to tie your knots close to where you're going to go into a big bead so you can hide your hole in there. Okay, so we've tied it now. Now you're going to take your two ends together here and you're going to tie an overhand knot and pull it down tight to the bead. Tight, tight. Do not put glue on that. because we have to go through these beads again. So if you put glue on it, I've learned my lesson the hard way. So you've got some pretty good knots in there. And even if your knot's not quite hidden in there, don't fret over it. It'll even hide inside the Matubo bead too. It's kind of, the knot's kind of inside there. But when I pull my thread, okay, let me get the needle on here. It's that easy, just tying it on. But make sure you tie two knots with your two tail ends. So these tail ends here, you've tied it on with this one and one tail end, your long one. Now take your two tail ends and tie a couple of overhand knots. And if you think your hole is going to be big enough, by George, tie another knot. Tie it to the long end. Just make it secure. That's all. See? And if you pull it good and tight, it's going to go in there. Now, I lost my end again. Where are you? There we are. So, it's 6 pounds, so it's not hard to go through the needle. It's just 6 pounds. I just squish it off with my fingers and thread it through. So I leave about that long of a tail. That's it. Because I don't want my thread tangling because I have a long piece here. So now, I'm at the end here. Here's my tail. I'm going to go through my 8mm because we're finishing the end here. And see how my knot didn't hide inside? I don't care. It's not going to be seen anyway. Who's going to sit here and go, oh, look, you have a knot right there in a seam? Not going to happen. Okay, so now you should have 4 of your 6mm left, which I do. Pick up an 8/0, a 6mm, and an 8/0. And a 6mm. Oh, you know what? 2, 4, 6, 9, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26. I am so sorry. We need 2 more of these. I'm an idiot. Anyways, you're going to make it like this. I wasn't counting. You don't have to use crystals on the end here like this, but they look so cute. I like them there. So I'm going to pull out 2 more. So it's 28 you need. So, very sorry. So, let's reinforce. Go through all your beads. Alright, now pull it nice and tight. Like that. And that's what that end should look like. I am still not going to cut this off because I do want to drop a dab of glue on this, but I'm going to drop it on after I'm done my bracelet, okay? You should always drop a little tiny dab of glue on all your knots that you do like this, your joints. Alright, now we need to get up into this 8/0 here. So, getting up into here. And actually, I didn't go through this 3 times. But, oh my goodness, I forgot an 8/0 there. Oh my god. See? Look how stupid I am. Ugh. Well, I'm not going to, I don't know. I'm not going to be able to go back through all these beads, I don't think. But let me try. Without splitting my Fireline here. Let me see if I can do it without having to pull my needle off. So far, so good. Dang it. Okay, so we do have it split right there. Let's see if that worked. No, I don't think it will. Yes, it did. hopefully. We can fix this without any complications. La da 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 da. Alright, so pull that through. I forgot. See what I did? I told you it's 7 o'clock in the morning here. I forgot to pick up an 8, or maybe I did pick up one. I don't know. I have to rewatch the video, and it could have fell off. I'll use that for my excuse. How's that? There, that looks better. How did I not even notice that when I went through it a second time? Holy. Okay. Yep, wouldn't be Ruby without doing a mistake. And I know that's very easy to do. Everyone must have done that. It's just sad that when you get halfway down your bracelet and then you realize, oh my God, I forgot to put a bead in there, and then you'd have to pull all your beadwork out. I've done that. Sure example of it. Alright, so let's get this secured nice and tight. There we go. So now you need to exit out of that 8 on the very end between your 6 millimeters. Before I forget, let me get some 2 more of these crystals. There we go. All right. Okay, so let's exit here. So we're not cutting any of these tails off. Some people, they don't glue them. They just cut them off. Don't do that. If you want your bracelet to last a long time and not separate on you, because Fireline is slippery. And you could probably pull these knots out very easily. So I'm not going to do that. I'll glue it. A little bit of super glue and you're good to go. Now here, you can see I've done this really stupid part. So this is the base of our bracelet. So this and this. Okay? I really don't like this at all. You can't tell me you guys like it either. It looks awful. Now, I've done 3 rows of right angle weave in here, and then I filled this in with beads. It looks awful. I shall be right back. Okay, now I'm back, and I had to put a sweater on because I'm freezing down here. It's so cold. We're getting snow right now. Can you believe that? Jeez Louise. Hope it doesn't stay. Okay, so here's where we're going to make our adjustments. Now, I can't tell you guys exactly what length you need to do in here because everyone's wrist size is different and everybody's toggle is not the same. You have to go based on what you use. So, for this, I'm going to pick up 3 of these 8/0s and I'm just going to make a circle like that, doing a right angle weave. And I'm not too sure why that knotted, but it did. The heck? Oh my goodness. What did I do? It's like in a complete knot. Really, I don't know why it did that. Oh, jeez. Okay. Is that where it is? Yes. Okay. There we go. Why did this go into a knot? Alright, let's try this again. Go through it this way. and then you have a little tiny right angle weave. And then I'm going to go through it again just to firm it up. Like that, and like that. And now you want to exit. Oops. Here. So you want to be exiting out of this 8/0 here. Now you're going to do this again and pick up 3 more and go through your bead the same way. Pull it tight and exit out of the top one here. Now, like that. Now, this is where you're going to build your length. So, in this one here, I added 3 seed beads. I'm only going to add 1. I'm going to pick up 1 on my needle. Then I'm going to pick up my 8/0, or my 6mm, and another 8/0. So this is going to give me my length right here, in there. Now you're going to pick up your wire protector. So I'm going in one end of my wire protector, so like this, if you got any of these. Okay, go in one side. Now you want to come back down the other side and making sure you put your thread in that groove right there. I always stress that every time I use wire protectors, because there's so many times that the thread has been on the side like that. Okay, pick up your toggle, easy peasy, and just click your toggle inside between your wire protector here. You might have to open it with your fingers a bit and drop it in there like that, and then squeeze it together like that. Okay, now you're going to go back down into this 8/0 and into your 6mm like that. So you should have looking like this. Now pick up another 8/0. So we came out on this side of this 8/0, as you can see, our thread, we came out that way. We're going to go in this way and just make a circle. Okay, and pull it tight. Now we're going to reinforce, of course. I'm only going to go through this one time, or one more time, because we're going to go through it again when we do our embellishing. So back down the wire protector, and through there, and through there, like that. Now making sure, oopsies. Okay, and we're pulling, and we're going to snag it right in the wire protector, like that. Alright, so we've done that. Doesn't that look much better? Now, we're going to work our way back down, but we're going to follow our thread path from these right angle weaves we did here. Come down here, come down here, and you want to be exiting out of an 8mm cross crystal. So I'm going down these side ones, just following my thread path, exiting out of that. Alright, so this is what you should have. Lots of threads hanging everywhere. Now, in here, I used 7 seed beads in here. I think I'm going to try it with 6 because I found 7 to be too bulky. So let me try 6. Let me see how good 6 will fit. I think it'll work. Alright. So you're coming out of your 8/0 here. Okay. You're going to go across here. You're going to go through. You're going to go right on a diagonal in between here where your 6mm are. And you're going to snag this 8/0 here. And you're going to go up into the 8mm like that. Okay, I have a dog, my sister's dog, and he's playing with his toy. So, we stuck, I find 6 way better. So use 6. Okay? And this is all you're going to do to embellish it. You're going to pick up 6 more. Like this. You're coming out of your 8mm. You're going to go right across here. And you're going to go into this 8/0 that's on this side and into your 8mm. And then just sit those on a diagonal across. Oh, Bentley. Take your toy and go see your mom. Yeah, I really like the 6 better. Like that. And I'll show you again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. You're coming out of your 8/0. Here. Go across these and to the next one, but catching this one, this 8/0, and then up through the 8mm. And go. And sit that on top, like that. Yeah, I really like this much better. But you do have to pull it nice and snug. Okay, so you do that. We'll get across to this end here. And then I'll show you what to do next. So finish doing your embellishment on top like this. And I'll come back. Okay, so we've gotten to the end here. And I've put all my 11/0s on. And looks like I might not even need to use this tail. Now you're going to put, and why am I missing a crystal? Oh dear, where'd it go? I probably knocked it off on the floor somewhere. That would be like me. Oh no, we're not. I've already used one. Okay, so you're going to pick up an 8/0. You're at the very end coming out of your 8mm crystal. You're going to pick up an 8/0, a 6mm, an 8/0, a 6mm, and an 8/0. Don't forget it. And then you're going to make a circle because now what you did over here on this side, you want to do on this side. So pick this up and let's reinforce this. I'm just going all through all these beads again. Okay. And of course we're going to go through it again. Oopsies. Like this. And now we're going to do the same thing on this side. So both sides are even and they don't look like this. Pick up 3 8/0s, make a circle, go through it like so, and then reinforce it. Oh, Bentley. It's my sister's dog playing with his toy. Pick up 3 more because you're exiting here and you're just doing another unit. And then, so. Oopsies, what am I doing? Jeez Louise. And why the heck did I go way down there? Because I'm the moron. Seriously, I went the wrong way. I went in the row below. Alright. Now, exiting here. So now we're going to do the same thing here. Well, that's going to make it really long. Watch out. Hang on. Let me see here. Let's see. Might be just right. Alright. Pick up an 8/0, your last crystal, and an 8/0. And I usually just pick up my toggle and everything in the end all in one piece. And I usually just attach it onto the wire protector, pinch it off, and then I just go through one side and through the other side, and then through the other end, making sure my thread's in that groove. Very good. Then down through the first two beads, so the 8/0 and the 6mm, and then you're going to pick up another. We came out on this side, so we're going to go in on this side and tighten that. And now we're going to go through all this piece again. Ouch! Went right under my fingernail. That needle. Okay, so reinforcing, pulling, making sure, see, it catches in there, and pull it tight. Alright, so now I'm going up through this again, but this time I'm going to exit out of the 8/0 right below the crystal, like that. And pull it in there. Alright, so it's been good and reinforced, right? Now, we're done with our 8/0s. Let's work with some 11/0s. So, let's see how long this bracelet is. This looks pretty long to me. It's about 1.25 inches too long, but it may shorten up when we add our seed beads in here. So you're going to pick up 2 11/0s, and you're going to you're exiting out of this 8/0, you're going to go into the next one in that line like that. And pulling it tight. Pick up 2 11/0s, go into the 8/0, like that. Pull it nice and tight. And now you're going to go across and stay in your thread path like this and pull that nice and snug like that. Okay, so now you're going to go down this side and in through into the 6mm and the 8/0. You're going to pick up 1 11/0 and you're just going to go right across into these first 3 beads. I got my bracelet upside down because it's easier to show you. So you went through here, you went down this side, into this one here, because that's your thread path, into the 6mm, the 8/0, and now you're just going to go right across into the 8/0, the 6mm, the 8/0. And you're going to stick a bead in between your thing, your 8/0s there. Now, pick up another one, go through the 8/0, the 6mm, and the 8/0. So we're kind of basically putting this in between our 8mm. Pick up an 11/0, go through the first 3 beads, 8/0, 6mm, 8/0. So you can see there is a gap between these 8/0s here that are between our crystals. And who wants to see gaps, right? This is what it's going to look like when it's finished. So this is what you're going to do all the way down. Oopsies. I'll show you one more time. Boy, I left a nice long thread there. When I get to this end here where this is, I'm going to just tie it. Put some glue on it. Cut it off. Pick up 11/0 into your 8, your 6, and your 8. And pull. So I'm going to work down this side until I get to my toggle there, and then I'm going to come back and show you one more time what to do. Okay? I'll be back. Okay, so we're at the end of our bracelet, and I'm still holding mine upside down. Now, what you're going to do, these stupid threads here, is I came out of this last 6mm at the end here. I am going to go follow my thread path back into that bead. I'm not going to just jump straight across into here. You don't want to do that. Okay? So now you're going to come up, you're exiting out of here on the right way, come up into this one. So this is where it's going to get its 3rd round of reinforcement, this toggle. Pick up a 2 11/0s and go into the next one. And this is into your right angle weave. So you should have 2 sets of 2 11/0s on each one. And then you're just going to go right back up through your entire bracelet, giving it its 3rd and final reinforcing. So I'm going to go through everything. Pulling this tight. There you go. In the toggle. And back down. And exiting at the bottom just in the 8/0 like we did on the other end of the bracelet. So I'm here. And there we go. Good and tight. Now, pick up 2 11/0s, go into the next 8/0, pick up 2 11/0s, into the next 8/0, and I think this looks much better than what I had done previously. So now I'm following the thread path because I've got my 2 groups of 2 11/0s in here. And I'm just following thread path into the 8 or 6mm and coming out to the 8/0 that's between our 8mm. So here you're going to pick up 1 11/0 and you're going to continue down this side now, putting 1 in between each one and giving that a good tight pull. So now I've completely done with this knot. So what I'm going to do is get a dab of glue, very little, oh my god, I can't even open this. It's, ow! Almost sounds like it's empty and all the glue leaked out of it. Oh well, I'll worry about that later. Shit. Dropped it. Alright, anyway, you're going to put some glue on there. Pick up your 11/0 and continue on down this side through the 11/0 or the 8/0, the 6mm and the 8/0, and give that a good tight pull. And there's your bracelet. Come on, taking shape now. 8/0, 6mm and an 8/0. Like that. Oh my god, all these strings are driving me to drink. Like that. Okay, so when we get to the end here, I'm going to come back. Once I get to this thread here, I'm going to come out here. I'm going to tie this off. Cut it off. I wasted that, so. Alright. I shall be back. Alright, so I'm at the end here again. And what we have to do now is cross over into our 8/0. So we stay in our thread path. I'm coming out this side, so I'm going to go in my 8/0 this way. And when you do that, you're going to end up on the side that doesn't have any 11/0s between these, your right angle weave units. So exit into the first 8/0 there, and up, pick up 2 11/0s, into the 8/0, pick up 2 11/0s, and now you're going to do your last reinforcing here. And if you've already gone through that more than you should have, then just skip across and go down and tie your thread off. Okay, so I don't remember if I went up here 3 times or not. Kind of looks like I did, so I'm just going to skip down and go down here and start tying off my threads. I can't count it. Making 1/2 inch knots. Like this. Between beads.
What internet are you?
Okay, so I went across there, staying in my thread path. And I'm just going to go down here now and continue putting 1/2 inch knots. Like this. I'm going between beads. And I think I'm going to do a double one here, but I'm going to make the loop a little smaller so it doesn't tangle. And pull it tight. And pull that into there. Like that. Oh, very good. Snag down here. Alrighty then, I don't know what I just did, but I made a knot. There. Alright, let's do one more for good measure. So I'm going to do it between the 11/0 and the Matubo beads. And now I'm just going to run through some beads and cut. Now, that is a much better finishing than this. Really. And they ended up being the exact same size. So, I'm giving myself a pat on the back because I did a good job. But I can't get my glue open. It's stuck. Anyway, you guys get the gist of that. Glue these. After you've finished, glue this knot you made and cut it off and your bracelet's done. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I'll put this on so you can see how beautiful that looks. How much better the closure is. It's more even, like that. So these turned out really pretty. Anyway, I'll see you guys soon on the next video. Have a great week. Bye, everyone.